Here he is, Roscoe, aka Scoe. Let's go. Welcome to Radio Kandela. Right here, you're being tuned in on TuneIn, and you're gonna be promoted on West Coast Aftershock. We want to thank West Coast Aftershock for the opportunity. I want to thank you for coming through to the radio show.
Shout out to West Coast Aftershock.
You got any future projects that you're working on that you're about to finish?
Yeah, I'm actually I'm going with an EP. The next thing I'm dropping is an EP. It's called Scoe's World, and I got a documentary I'm working on too.
Okay. You got any features or any release dates yet?
I've been working a lot with Jelly Roll.
Okay.
I like what he's been doing. I like what he's been doing with Game on this project, so I had to get my hands on Jelly Roll so I could get some of that sound. And you know, as far as the features go, you know, you never know. You never know what happens. Like if it works out.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, definitely. You know, I'm into showcasing my own skills. That's what I like to do. I like to do a full album. And my first album didn't have any guest appearances really, except for, you know, the singers and the Y group. And my second album had basically all my Y group features on there, and a few other new artists that I wanted to put out. And with the third album, I decided to go mainstream features. That's why I grabbed Too Short and Clyde Carson. You know, it gotta be something that's really intimate with me. It gotta be somebody that I really work with, or I'm really cool with. Yeah. I don't do too many collaborative efforts.
Lately, a lot of the new rappers really don't have maybe lyrics, or the deliveries really just mumbling on the songs nowadays. I don't want to say any names, but you know what I mean? And you keep it 100. You got that West Coast style, hip-hop style over anything. Where does that influence come from for you?
Just from being ahead of my time. I was always older, like a mannish little boy. So I would always be listening to what the adults was listening to, and I would always be following behind the adults and be at the places where I wasn't supposed to be. So I saw a lot, I learned fast, and at a certain point, you know, I got real witty and started reading a lot. Reading is the key to being a great writer. It doesn't really come from anything musical when it comes to writing, when it comes to rhyme schemes. You know, you would have to know a little bit about poetry, you know, and literature before you get off to be that. And don't get me wrong, because a lot of people just naturally have a poetic sense, and you know, you got some people who cannot write or read, but they can freestyle something like phenomenal. And it's crazy, some people don't know how to write or read, but they know big words and they understand what they're saying. So at the end of the day, it's all about knowledge of what you know. I think people put a lot more into their style nowadays and not enough into their message, and not enough into just their full all-around talent as an artist, you know. Everybody want to get on stage and jump around and be a rock star. And, you know, there's nothing wrong with that, but it's definitely good to know who you are as an artist, and what you have to say and how you would say it. Because it's funny, because when I do something, a feature or anything, I say, you know, it has to be a Roscoe thing. Like if it's not a Roscoe thing, I can't do it. It has to be a Roscoe thing, you know.
Alright, cool. Before we go to any more questions, I just want to play a little bit of your music so that people could remember, or, you know, start vibing to your music and get to know you a little better. So DJ VLatino.
Night to the whole world.
Welcome back to the Aftershock radio show. We're right here with our guest Roscoe. We got into a little bit of your music right there. This is a throwback.
Get ready.
Yeah, definitely.
Shout out to Cocaine.
Yeah. Alright, there's a song that was recorded on the Pootie Tang album called Yesterday with Nate Dogg. How did that track come about?
Man, we was in the studio and it was arranged for us to do the record. We get there and Nate it all worked. He was ready to knock the record out. I was young, you know, I wanted to go out. So I let Nate, you know, start the record. And he was taking it a while, you know, there's harmonies and there's writing and it was taking some time. So I was like, you know, I trust Nate. So I jumped in the car and went around the corner to the wash, to the movie set. Got real hammered. Yeah. And that was about 15, 16 or something. I had a limo. And I remember I crawled back in the limo. I was so faded. And I went back to the studio. Nate had the whole record done. He said, yeah, Roscoe, I saved you a spot, man. I didn't know you was coming back, and I started to do the whole thing. I'm good looking out, Nate. Yeah, it was a big record. It was cool. I remember I was sleeping in the mic booth. I was falling asleep.
That's what's up, though.
Like, Roscoe, started over from the top. Play it back from the top. I did this about 5 times. And then finally say, Roscoe, you know we can see you, right? And I look up, I see the cameras. I'm like, oh, okay, let's knock it out. And it came out dope.
Yeah, definitely. We know that you have a lot of unreleased music. Which ones do you consider would be your best unreleased songs? And do you think those songs will ever come out?
You said unreleased music?
Yeah, unreleased music.
Wow. I don't know, man. I got some big records. I think some of my best unreleased music will be some of the stuff I did at Aftermath or with Warren G. I know Fred Wreck got some good stuff. Let me see. Yeah, just, you know, some of the stuff that we didn't finish.
Okay, do you got a upcoming single that you're working on or that you're about to release or any soon to be released projects?
Well, the EP I'm working on is Scoe's World. I'm thinking about doing a mixtape in between time with all the stuff that didn't make the EP. I can't really say what singles or what I plan on dropping because I'm still in the creative process.
Okay, definitely.
It's a whole lot of heat. I'll tell you that much, y'all. Style is gotten more vintage, developed a little bit more involved, and I'm more in the creative seat, in the control. I have more control than I used to have of my projects. So I'm just getting used to that and being more free to create the way I want to create. And trusting my instincts to see.
Okay, yeah.
You know, because like I said, you know, like the Get Ready record, I actually didn't want to do that record. It was a record the label picked. They had me write. Same thing with Smooth Selling. I Love Cali. Karuka picked those 2 records. So a lot of my big records were arranged for me. Like even that Yesterday record, that was arranged for me. I did all my lyrics. I wrote all my own raps, but just the situations for the records were set up for big deals.
Yeah.
So I want to try to do some big deals of my own and be in the creative control seat behind everything.
So you're behind everything, like pretty much
like,
choosing the production, the singles, what songs, the collaborations, the producers.
Like last album, The Influence, I just put out 2014, 15. Had a lot of features on it, but as far as the music side and the production side, I stuck with one producer, which I like doing that because it gives the record more of a theme and a feel. I think a lot of people do that nowadays. I see Drake sticking with his one producer. Artists with longevity, they stick with a certain producer. Like Kuroko will stick with Daz, Snoop will stick with Dr. Dre. So I'm just looking for my Daz and my Dr. Dre, you know. And I'm trying to work with different people. So I worked with Fallen Angel on this last project. And we used a lot of live instruments and a lot of live musicians came in and played on the project. So it's not really a lot of machine beats on there.
It's crazy. That's I think, but that brings more like a live type of feel to the whole music.
Yeah, that's why another thing I'm working on is a live show that I'm about to start performing. And see how that works out, possibly into a tour with a band. And just taking my time, trying different things.
Alright, cool. Well, here at the Aftershock radio show.
Yeah, shout out DJ VLatino.
Radio Kandela, encendiendo tus sentidos.
A lot of artists, decide that they want to change certain things about them, and there's nothing wrong with that, but you have to always keep a certain section of your album dedicated to the people that helped you in the beginning and supported you in the beginning. I feel like they deserve an effort as much as the new fans that you're trying to attract. I don't want to say any names, but I don't really care. So I think it was a Nas record I was listening to, and he was rapping a little differently, more like what you hear now. And I was tripping off of that. I'm like, the last thing I want to hear from Nas is some modern day type stuff. I like Nas for who he is, like I want to hear Nas when I listen to Nas. I feel like a lot of people, that's why you got people like Snoop who still make records to this day and stay who they are and don't change and keep that fan base, because when people love you for who you are, they don't want you to change, and that's the hardest part about being an artist, is that we all change, we all get older, and a lot of our changes that we go through is hard for the fan base to accept.
Yeah, definitely.
So it's definitely, and it's crazy because today it's so easy to communicate with your fans, and I don't think artists take advantage of that the way they should, because we used to read letters and write letters back and have to sit down and do these interviews in these offices all day long. And now you can just do it over the phone, you can do it over email, you can do it FaceTime, you know what I'm saying? So
they can message you directly and
yeah, definitely. So I think in this day and age, it's easier to communicate with your fan base and understand how your music is affecting them and how your decisions are affecting, the people that look up to you as a role model. Which is another thing. I feel like, artists shouldn't have to be role models, but at the same time, the fact that we don't have to be doesn't mean that we shouldn't accept the responsibility that goes with the territory.
Yeah. I've seen you perform a couple of times. Is there anywhere they could contact you, like to book you for shows, performances?
Yeah, you can contact booksco@gmail.com if you want to book Roscoe for any shows. And if you just want to contact me or just keep up with my moves, you can check me out at on Twitter at Roscoe DPG, Roscoe DPG, or you can check me out on Instagram, only one Roscoe, ONLY, #1 Roscoe.
Everybody that tuned in on today's show, I want to thank you for tuning in to the Aftershock show right here at Radio Kandela. We appreciate everybody. I want to thank Roscoe for coming through. Really appreciate it, man.
Real talk.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it. And DJ VLatino, play some music and we'll be back.
Mezclando en vivo.